One of you actually signed your cat up for this process. She said that her cat got up and sat in her lap for the breath centering in the first video. And then two of you have requested that I show Mackie in these videos. The cat that disappeared for 2 weeks, a month and a half after we arrived in San Antonio, and then miraculously reappeared on our doorstep at 6 a.m. 2 weeks later and literally knocked at the door. So here's the big black Mac. All 20 plus pounds. According to Ayurveda, food should be warm. Warm food is digested more easily than cold food. Cold food weakens the digestive fire, and it is digested slowly and is more likely to produce ama. And remember, ama is improperly digested food or toxins. Also, food should be taken in an oily or moist form. According to the Charak Samhita, one should take unctuous food. Unctuous food is delicious. After intake, it provokes the subdued power of digestion. It gets digested quickly. It helps in the downward movement of vata. It increases plumpness of the body, strengthens the sense faculties, promotes strength, and brings a brightness of complexion. So I love that quote, and khichdi is a wonderful example of an unctuous food. If we are eating dry foods like pretzels, that dries our digestive tract, and then that dryness goes into all the tissues, and that will be reflected in your skin and other visible, your eyes, your mouth. And so unctuous food will produce this nice juicy quality to our bodies. And I mentioned food shouldn't be taken that has opposite potencies, and that is a very large discussion, food combination, which I won't do here. And only a small amount of liquid should be taken with meals. And what you will hear many practitioners say is fill up your belly halfway, and then with food, and then a quarter with liquid, and then leave the other quarter of your belly empty. And folks, our stomachs are the size of our fist. And so I heard a person from New Zealand, an herbalist, speak in Milwaukee last summer, and she said there is something seriously wrong with your portion sizes in this country. And she held up her fist like that and said our stomachs are that big. So we grossly overeat, and I'm guilty of that. You saw my plate of khichdi. So avoid cold drinks. Cold drinks weaken Agni, and Agni again is your digestive fire. Food should be taken with self-confidence. And so when we are eating food, and this is particularly a vata tendency, vatas are made up of ether and air, remember? And so putting food into our bodies is inserting the earth element into our bodies. And vatas psychologically will resist that, because they like to be light and airy, and they don't like that feeling of heaviness. And so sometimes we can consume our food with guilt and be thinking in our heads, well, this food is going to make me fat, this food is going to make me ugly, I don't deserve to eat this food. And what my teacher, Pat Layton, I remember her saying in one of her lectures, she said that what we are saying when we don't want to eat, or when we resist eating, is that we don't want to be alive. And so that's very profound. And so observe some of your attitudes while you're eating, and eat with confidence. tell yourself that your food is going to nourish you and make you beautiful and help you function during the day and enhance your intellect. And so that is very important. Take some time to rest after meals. It's very common for people to get up after they've eaten and just run to the next thing. And I have observed in my own awareness practice that I'll often be standing up after I eat before I have even swallowed my last bite. And so that's one of my things that I've been working on during this cleanse, is to just stay seated until I've swallowed my last bite of food. Notice that. Notice what's happening right after you eat. And take a moment just hanging out on your couch reading or something after you eat, and you'll notice that the transit of your food will be a lot more slick. And finally, allow 3 hours between meals for food to digest. And I love the way Dr. John Douillard explains this, that snacking is discouraged in Ayurveda, and that is because of this idea of the multitasking that your digestive tract has to do when you're snacking, when you're not allowing a period of time in between meals. So as you eat, your food goes into your esophagus, and then it's munched up in your stomach mechanically and chemically, and then your food goes into your small intestine, and that's where nutrients are pulled with these finger-like structures called villi across the wall of your small intestine and into your bloodstream. So that absorption moment is very key, and then your food goes through your large intestine and then is excreted. And so if you're eating and snacking a lot, you'll have food go in your esophagus, and you also have food churning in your stomach, and you'll have some food in the small intestine process. And so that's confusing for your digestive tract. It's like, are we swallowing right now? Are we churning and breaking down the stomach? Are we absorbing? What are we doing? And so just allowing that time for each part of your digestive tract to perform its function optimally will be of benefit. And I can't tell you how many clients I see who say that they graze throughout the day. I don't know why we have this concept that that's good to do in America, unless you're hypoglycemic and feel like you're going to drop dead if you're not snacking all day. In every other country in the world that I have visited, people sit down for their 3 meals a day. And that seems to be working better in other countries than the system that we have here. Something's wrong with our system, because we have a lot of obesity problems and digestive issues. And so that is all for food sadhana, and I hope you enjoyed this segment. If you would like me to create a customized Radiant Living detox and rejuvenation program for you, please email or call to schedule an appointment. My email address is patricia.wickman@gmail.com, and my phone number is 715-529-3061. Please visit the Radiant Living website at www.rlyaa.com for more information and pricing.